Hello, this is KeefCooks. I'm Keef, and today I'm going to do a fantastic Italian classic dish, minestrone soup. But first of all, birthday greetings to Belly Bachimons over in Bangkok. I'm sure I know that's not your real name, but have a good birthday, or I hope you've had a good birthday. I don't know exactly when it is. So, minestrone soup. This was requested about 6 months ago by Jan the Nan, and I was pretty sure I'd done that already, and I may have done, because there is a recipe on my website, KeefCooks.com. Minestrone soup, it is a classic of Italian cuisine. However, there is no fixed recipe, so I won't be getting any complaints about authenticity, thank you. But there are a few standard items. So it's based on the Italian Holy Trinity of onion, celery and carrots. It's a tomato-based liquid. There will be whatever seasonal vegetables you can get. There may or may not be meat, like pancetta or bacon or something. And also, there could be a bit of pasta, little small bits of pasta, or rice. But, you know, all of those in combination, even from one cook, from one day to another, will make it differently because of the availability of different ingredients. So there you go. If you enjoy this video, press like. Also, subscribe, ring the bell, make a donation, become a patron. Why not? I know why not, but if you feel inclined. So, right, I'm wittering. Let's get on with it. Minestrone soup. Now, my ingredients, I've got a medium onion, a wonky carrot, and a couple of sticks of celery. I've also got a couple of cloves of garlic, a can of tomatoes, and some seasonal veg. I just happen to have some cabbage. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Pretty. But things like squashes are good, or zucchini. What do we call that? Courgette. Peas. I will put some frozen peas in. Whatever you've got, really. 230 grams of cannellini beans. That's drained weight. You could use borlotti beans or any other kind of bean, or garbanzos if you wish. I'll also have a good squirt of pancetta. I've got some bacon, you could use pancetta, and some chicken stock, and I'll probably need to top that up with water. Some Grana Padano cheese, which I'll grate on top at the end, but also I'm going to cut the rind off, stick that in with the soup towards the end, give it a load of umami. A small handful of basil, salt, ground black pepper as required, some oregano, and my pasta I'm using orzo. It's like rice. Orzo in Italian means barley, because it kind of looks a little bit like barley. And then to garnish, we'll just have a dollop of pesto. Now, like many Italian dishes, soups, things like ragu and stuff like that, we start with the Italian Holy Trinity, which is called soffritto, and it is onion, carrot and celery, chopped quite small. That's the same ingredients as the French mirepoix, except mirepoix is slowly kind of sweated in butter or oil for maybe 15-20 minutes, and you don't want it to brown. But with soffritto, you do want it to brown, and you cook it quite quickly, only about 5 minutes. And then there's Spanish soffritto, which is 1F and completely different ingredients. Okay, magic knife. I'll chop the celery. Okay, let's choppy, and now squashy the garlic cloves. Or you can mince them if you want. Now, normally I'll cook this in a big tall pot, but just so you can see what's going on, I'm starting off in a shallow frying pan. So, good glug of olive oil on medium heat, and just chuck a bit of onion in there to indicate when it starts to sizzle. And when it is sizzling, add the onion, celery, and the carrot. and the garlic, and we'll cook those for about 5 minutes. And then if you are adding any meat, add that and get that browned. So we add the can of tomatoes and the wibbly wobbly homemade chicken stock. If you haven't got wibbly wobbly stock, you can use ordinary runny from a cube stock or just water. And also I'll add the pancetta. And the chopped basil leaves. And a teaspoon of oregano. And we'll let those simmer gently for about 40 minutes and then fiddle with it. Now the last few bits for today, I'm going to add the cabbage, a couple of tablespoons of frozen peas, and the cannellini beans. Obviously, well, might not be obvious, these are cooked. If you've got dried ones, you need to deal with those somewhat differently. So those all need to cook for about 20 minutes, and then I'll switch it off and leave it till tomorrow. Then I'll finish it off by adding the cheese rind and the orzo pasta, and also season it with salt and pepper if it needs it. Okay, so it's the next day and I am going to finish off the minestrone. I mentioned I was going to add the rind of the cheese to the soup. Pretty hard to eat, but it's packed with umami, which is our favourite thing. Umami! I'm heating up the soup, I'll just pop this in. And also I've got a pan of water coming to the boil because I'm going to add the pasta. Now, if you've made a quantity of soup and you know you're going to consume it all straight away, pretty much, you can just pop that in to the soup and cook it for whatever the recommended time is. This needs between 7 and 9 minutes. But if you know you'll be eating it in batches, then it's best to cook the pasta separately. So I'll just do that in the boiling water and then add a tablespoon or two per person per serving, as and when required. So it's already cooked, but it just heats up as you heat up the soup, and it doesn't get overcooked and mushy and nasty. Right, so here's the soup, and I'm just going to transfer some of it to a smaller saucepan because that's what we're going to have for lunch, and 2 tablespoons of pasta. And when that's cooled down, that goes in the fridge for another day. Oh, hey there. And now it's time for the testing of the taste time. Taste test time with Mrs. KeefCooks. Hey! Looking very regally purpley.
This is much nicer than regal purple. Yeah, what's this actually called?
Purple.
No, it's not called amethyst.
It's close to magenta.
Absolutely lovely.
I knew a guy who was a bit dyslexic who always called it magneta. So you serve it with a dollop of pesto.
Oh, Amazon.
Back in a minute. And a sprinkling of cheese. Grana Padano, Parmigiano, Pecorino, whatever you got. Not really. Hard Italian cheese. That's what you need. Okay, come on.
Come on, mate.
Bloody what?
See?
What is it?
I was right.
Is it for me?
No, it's for me. Well, actually, it's for us. Anyway.
Okay. And a tomato.
Oh yeah, presentation. You're so sophisticated. Minestrone. Okay, I don't like minestrone. I'm sorry. I like Italian food very, very, very much.
All right, I like it.
But vegetables floating in clear liquid, it's just like, what is that? And this doesn't look like any minestrone I've ever had. You said I'd like it. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's got meat in it.
Oh yeah, bacon. Pancetta.
That's not rice, is it? Is that those little pasta
Yeah,
things?
that's orzo.
All right.
The little bits of pasta that look like rice. Except the Italians think they look like barley.
Oh, and he's made bread. Keith makes fantastic sourdough. You should try it. Mm-hmm. Buttered both sides, I like that. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm a convert. Yeah. Sorry. Did he mention this is my lunch break?
Might as well. Okay. I think we're done. We like that a lot. So, thanks for watching.
Ooh, mommy. Ooh. What's the song?
Your swan. It's not a word.
We're doing aeroplanes. Yeah. Right.
Thank you for watching.
Switch that off and we'd have some lunch.